I'll topo the morning to ya. I'm Liam the Leprechaun, and I've got a wee secret to share. DJZDesigns.com has just unveiled their brand new St. Patrick's Day apparel. Featuring yours truly, of course. From cheeky tees to lucky prints, these designs are brimming with charm and plenty of gold. Whether you're heading to a parade or just feeling the Irish spirit, you look grand in these threads. So what are you waiting for? Skip the rainbow and head straight to ZJZDesigns.com. You'll find the pot of gold in your cart. No magic required. ZJZDesigns.com, where style is always in season.
The All About Nothing podcast may have language and content
that isn't appropriate for some.
Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, Nothingers, to the All About Nothing podcast. I am Barrett Gruber, joined by Zach King. Hello, Zach.
Good morning, Barrett.
Hello.
We are reporting live from the Great Snowstorm of 26.
I hear there's a possibility we might have several of these potential snowstorms that end in disappointment with just rain.
It just seems wet right now, but we'll keep you tuned.
That's right. 42 degrees right now. Humidity's 99%. Dew point's rising. So anyway, I'll just say real quick before I get into the business that we are, as of the date of release, 20 days away from the Super Bowl. Zach has 20 days left to bleach and dye my beard. Now, last week you said you were waiting for this to just go completely white, and then you would, yeah.
Would it be more funny if I just dyed your white chin blue?
Oh, maybe. Because then I only have to focus on shaving this off after, profile pictures and whatever. So, yeah. So please subscribe and share the show. That's how we get new listeners. Also, please consider supporting the show financially by visiting theallaboutnothing.com and becoming an official member and proudly calling yourself a true nothinger. Have more details on that at the end of the show. If you can't do that, please give us a 5-star review, a like, and follow us across all the social media. You can find links at theallaboutnothing.com. Wild week, Zach. Wild week. Politically, socially. Of course, today, the day of the release, is we celebrate Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. We observe his birthday.
Today is Jeffrey Tucker King's birthday.
Jeffrey Tucker King's birthday.
My dad. Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, happy birthday, Tuck. Happy birthday we observe your birthday today, too. That's crazy. I did not know that.
Yeah, they shared a birthday.
Well, that's cool. Do you do anything special in recognition of your father's birthday?
Usually I'll get a little bottle of Crown and a Mello because those were his two drinks, and just sip on those. I don't drink sugary drinks, so Mello kind of makes your teeth crack, but I'll just a bit of that and think about them.
Yeah.
Celebrate them.
That's
think of that line from Hamlet. What was it?
I have not seen Hamlet yet, so this is a Hamlet 2026 movie that just came out.
He was a man, take him for all in all. I shall not look upon his like again.
Oh yeah, okay.
My Shakespearean, what do we call it? I don't know. Whatever that. Me and Hamlet. I agree with Hamlet.
Yeah. Well, in respect of things that we remember and nostalgia and whatnot, you remember the most interesting man in the world?
I do.
Yeah. So the Dos Equis is officially bringing back the original guy tomorrow during the national championship.
He has to be 100.
He's not. And honestly, I feel like we kind of need him right now, with everything going on. But are we more or less interested in where he's been for the last 10 years? What do you think? Because he's the most interesting man in the world. Like,
it's only been 10 years. I feel like he was, oh man.
Yeah, it's only been 10 years.
Yeah.
It has only been 10 years. And you know what the craziest thing is? You know what his real name is?
It's probably like George Hansen or something.
Pretty close. His name is Jonathan Goldsmith. So he's not even Latino or anything like that. Like, he is he has been made into the most interesting man in the world because of the marketing skills of Dos Equis, which I guess, I don't know who Dos Equis is, probably Coors. But like, it's such a weird phenomenon for this guy to have in commercials, 30-second commercials, they have legitimately built him into this thing. Like, I remember when the commercials were pretty heavy, I guess 10 years ago, where they like, even when he like what's the pseudo news celebrity news channel, they do everything.
ETV?
No, they roam around with their cameras. They're basically paparazzi. TMZ. Like, TMZ used to follow him around because he was a guy that was deemed the most interesting man in the world, and he'd be going into an Arby's, you know?
Yeah. You once gave birth to Christ.
It's such a, like, tap me. I'll do it, you know?
Yeah, I'll do it. I got a beard. I love this Hecky.
Mine's got gray in it. Have you spotted any gray hairs yet?
Oh, dude, yeah, for sure. You just can't catch them on camera.
Okay, I didn't know if you dyed them or if you
dyed them. I am not that vain, brother, or have that much time.
Okay,
yeah.
No, your eyebrows. I am starting to find the grays in the eyebrows. You know,
I don't have any in the eyebrows.
No.
These things are pure, baby.
My mother and my father, neither one of them started turning gray until they were in their 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And I hit 35 and it just went downhill. I mean, the likelihood
we're now
is
officially the most boring men in America.
You know what? And I'm just being honest. I would hold that trophy high.
Yeah. Come on in, sit down in the recliner. The national championships game is on. That's right, Miami and Indiana.
Would you like some milk, 2% or whole?
I'm going to give some to the cat if you don't mind.
What a fucking ridiculous situation we have now with milk. So there's no like actual documented medical benefit to drinking whole milk versus 2% milk. The only real difference is that whole milk has more fat in it than the 2%.
Yeah.
And over the last 4 decades, they've 40. Everybody's been saying reduce your fat, whatever. And then RFK Jr. comes out with the food pyramid. By the way, why are we calling it a food pyramid? It's not 3-dimensional. A pyramid is a 3-dimensional object.
Yeah.
This is a triangle.
Well, and the steak's like at the top of it now too.
They put steak at the top, somewhere you got ice cream and hey,
I'm looking at that pyramid going like, hey.
Fuck, look how healthy I've been all these years.
I'm still healthy?
Me and RFK could hang out.
Yeah, this guy's on to something.
Wait.
You want to swim in my sewage drain? No.
Hold on. Robert, you're telling me I don't have to change anything?
You're not better be a health.
But I guess that's my point one is first of all, they keep calling it a pyramid. I don't remember when I was younger them calling it a pyramid. I thought it was the food. Did they call it a pyramid?
Yeah, for sure. They're just running with what they were told. I for sure it was called the food pyramid.
Then how come no one stepped in at any point and was like, guys, geometry, this is a triangle, not a 3-dimensional object?
I don't know. Is ChatGPT still with us? You can ask her. What did we call her? Gertie?
Yeah. Or Edna? I don't remember. I can't for the life of me. I can't remember what we called her. Has it always been called a food pyramid, right?
I was showing my daughter what we watched growing up, and this is very apropos. Mr. Goodbody, do you remember him?
No. Oh, was that? Yeah, that was the guy with all the muscles outside of his.
Yeah. So I don't know, Mr. Goodbody. We didn't get to that part, but she was just perplexed by this man wearing this like organ suit.
It was weird. It was definitely an odd. Yeah. So in 1992, the USDA officially introduced the Food Guide Pyramid. Yeah. But based on the images, at least they gave it sort of a pyramid type geometry. Like they added there was a there was a line
It
that I
ventures
guess
off like
it was just a little bit of enough of an angle that you could see that it was a almost a 3-dimensional shape.
you said 1992.
1992.
Yeah, Mr. Goodbody didn't know shit about no food pyramid.
When was Mr. Goodbody? I can't even remember.
Mr. Goodbody had to be like 1980 something.
I
'Cause
definitely
there were reruns when I had to watch it.
Yeah, I definitely remember it. But I did he have like curly hair? Was it the same guy that played the Great American Hero? Or what was the guy that?
It was for sure the 80s on PBS is what it was.
Oh, okay. Oh, 80s. Okay. Yeah, that was back when Arnold Schwarzenegger was trying to pump up the kids.
John Burstein, Captain Kangaroo. He was the guy who played Captain Kangaroo.
No way. Really? I thought those overlapped.
I don't know. I didn't watch Captain Kangaroo.
I don't think that I did either, but I imagine somebody would have to correct me on that.
I guess it is him, I guess.
Really? That was the guy that played Captain Kangaroo? Okay, I do remember. Yeah, so I was right. Curly hair. I honestly want to say I saw a TikTok of him recently, and I wonder if that was in respect to all of the talk about the food pyramid and whatnot.
Oh no, that's not Captain Kangaroo.
I was going to say Captain Kangaroo is an old white guy
under his name.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Captain Kangaroo.
Insane.
Captain Kangaroo was a bald haircut old man with a
it looks like Dark Universe Scotty from the original Star Trek.
Yeah, a little bit. Do you think they had to do that to his eyebrows to make them?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It looks like somebody's drunkle.
Hey, I found our backup plan if this podcast fails. So there's a place in Malaysia called the Youth Retirement Home. Now we're a little
Malaysia, you say?
Yeah, it's above. We're a little outside of their demographic, but it's a youth retirement home specifically for burnt out 25-year-olds. Right now, yeah, it's fully booked. You just live on a farm and hang out with ducks for like $400 a month, which, by the way, cheaper than most people paying for their houses.
Yeah.
What age do you feel like you will have the opportunity to retire?
57.
57 is your plan?
Yeah.
Okay. I suspect that I will probably work until the day I die. Just for one, or I'll do something until the day I die.
Well, because I want to do something, but like I'm pumping that 401k. Michelin has some awesome retirement. Yeah. All I got to do is 10 years and be 55.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's true. That's true. But like,
dude, I don't want to be working when I'm 60. I'm fucking tired now.
Well, yeah, but like if I'm going to be doing something, I want to be paid for it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'll do something, you know? Maybe we have some patrons that'll help, you know, me and
fund
Barrett.
our retirement.
Yeah. I'm looking at you. Fuck Bill can give us some money.
Yeah. Bill, you're listening to this. Just understand that what we're asking for is pay for service.
Yeah. We will do the Bill podcast out of that fucking Bill the podcast.
I want to say this, and I don't think I said it last week, but when the mayor of Minnesota came out and told ICE to get the fuck out of Minnesota or out of Minneapolis, I feel like that was the opportunity that we now can go forward, and the word fuck can be so normal in our nomenclature that we just see it. Like, I know the president says it behind the Oval Office in front of cameras. I know he says it in the cabinet room. I know he says it outside with the Marine One chopping at the air.
He says it to Ford plant workers.
He said it in front of a 9-year-old the other day. Like, he said it at the Oval Office with a 9-year-old standing next to him. And like, it was focused in on him. Like, you couldn't see, she was just off camera because that fucker takes up the entire 9:16,
It does.
1080p, whatever, 4K.
Yeah.
All your
in 720, you don't have enough pixels.
yeah. But she was just off camera, but I have to imagine that 9-year-old was just like, like the president of the United States. And I get it. Biden cussed a handful of times that got caught on mic where he said something. Obama, I think, has been caught a couple of times. But
Donald Trump is a fat, stupid fucking asshole.
but the mayor of Minneapolis just being so it was I think it was part of his he knew he was going to say it.
I think that helps the people of Minneapolis to stick it to ICE a little bit too. They're like, yeah, even the mayor's on our side. Fuck these guys.
No, and ultimately, last week we talked about how Trump is targeting Minnesota. I think that I think that I'm more right on that than I thought, because even over the course of the last week, they've talked about that ICE has had some sort of 12,000 member bump in the last 4 months. So in 120 days, ICE has hired 12,000 new soldiers, basically doubling the number of agents they have. So,
and they can't chase anybody. They're hiring the most out of fucking shape, fat fuck, stupid ass. They were chasing people and just busting their ass and not catching anybody, which is hilarious. Yeah. And the fact that town and that city has come together to just honk their horns at these dudes and follow them and just, especially after you killed somebody, you just lit a fire in that whole city, and you deserve every bit of it. Not to mention the leader of the Border Patrol. What's that guy's name with the
Tom Holman,
dressing like a Nazi with the Nazi jacket with his Gestapo around him pointing, "You get back in the street, get them." Who? If you don't see this, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah. It is essentially the Gestapo, and it's not as shielded or as hidden as Hitler had to do with his Gestapo. It ain't secret police. No, Trump and Kristi Noem and Tom Holman are basically just putting it completely out there and saying, this is what we're doing. But they're targeting Minneapolis specifically because it is, I guess based on the demographics, it is a high number or a high percentage of immigrants from Africa or Central and Eastern Africa that came here during a time when they had to leave the country in order to live, and we had asylum available, so they set up here. And somebody was saying how the reason that Minnesota, I saw somebody say, the reason that Minnesota and that Minneapolis and St. Paul are so liberal is because and it's completely absurd, but that they came to the United States and one of the requirements was that they always vote Democrat, which is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. Because if any of these people have gotten their citizenship, then they probably are voting however they want. I mean, if they're voting at all, they're voting how they want and they feel. But every single time Trump and Holman and Kristi Noem do these sorts of things, that all it does is push people away from their narrative and over towards the more progressive liberal side. It says more about a person from another country who becomes a citizen and is allowed to vote, then chooses to vote Democrat, probably because it has some better fucking ideas than the Republicans and are acting as, politicians. I'm not going to say they're great, even on the Democratic side, but they're not vehemently xenophobic and racist. Right. Which you're getting from the right. So it's not some big mystery. Yeah. And Zach, never let me put words in your mouth because what's this, Barrett? All right, so word. But I am dumbfounded by the people that look at this situation and are either excited about it or believe that this is the necessary path to make the United States great. Right. And even Ronald Reagan said that the United States is great because of
our immigration policies and bring, not policies, but the immigration levels that we have, and the fact that we are an extremely diverse country. But then you actually look at the numbers. This country is still a majority white, European white. That we did at one point. There was talk that by 2025 or something like that years ago, and I'm pretty sure these numbers were made up, but they said that the population in the United States, whites were going to become a minority to Latin Americans or Latinos ethnically, which just fucking absurd. Who cares? Like, why is that important? What if you could put yourself in the headspace of someone that is concerned about that, what argument could you potentially make for whites staying in the majority versus Latinos or blacks or Asians or, whatever? What argument could you potentially make for that?
White is right. I don't know. Like, it's ridiculous. And lifting up other ethnicities doesn't take down other ones.
Right.
I don't know. Diversity, they don't want it. It's purely that. It's racist.
But even knowing that is the reason, I still can't wrap my head around it. I can't look at any of my neighbors and be of the mindset that they should be lower than me. I look at my neighbor, Jose, and he has been in this country for more than 40 years. Mm-hmm. He is a citizen. He has a passport for the United States, and he retired from the University of South Carolina as a Spanish language teacher and a Spanish American history teacher, professor. And he and his wife both retired from the University of South Carolina. And I look at that as like, it's a fucking accomplishment. Like, you stayed at one job long enough to be able to retire from that job. And what you were teaching has, I think, an extreme amount of value when it comes to, the education system. So I hold him on higher than me, because all I do is I just write code and queries to pull data.
Sure.
Which is fucking boring and easy, and they pay me well for it.
I don't, because I'm with you. When I meet someone who's different, I want to see what they bring to the table that I can learn from them culturally, on a daily basis. How do you think? Like, especially when you have problems, you want someone who thinks differently to come in and help you solve this. You want same thing with other people from different countries. How do you function? What can you learn from this person? That's what being American is all about. That's what it's always been about. The Statue of Liberty seems to get ignored in what that says on it right there. It just drives me crazy. I don't understand it either. And it's got to be something just innately bred. And I always think maybe they're just operating on base instinct of like different, scary. Like, I don't know.
See, and I look at the interactions that I have with some of the people that I went to high school with now, versus who I thought or think they were when we were in high school. And for the most part, a lot of my friends from high school seem to be, for the most part, they seem as though they are either middle of the road or they are more progressive and liberal. A lot of them went into teaching, and teaching is a liberal art. Education is a liberal art. And it's not just the word liberal, but it is the expansion of education and entertaining the ideas and thoughts of others in order to expand your mindset. But then there are others. There are others that are just a complete outlier when it comes to like it's like that song Ben Folds wrote a few years ago, talking about his friend from this girl from seventh grade, and how now he gets her emails and it's all dead babies and eating fetuses and stuff like that. And it was like we went to the same school. It was a good education. Did you misspell those words on purpose? Like,
I think that's the first time you made a Ben Folds reference, and I understood exactly what you were talking about.
It's great.
I understood that reference.
It has value. There's value in it.
For sure.
But it's, yeah, I don't understand how they became like. There was a girl in high school we went to elementary school and high school together. We swam on the same swim team. We played on the same co-ed, like early league baseball together. And I recently was told that she was very similar to someone else that we went to school with, who I have disconnected from, because anytime I would post something, she would post how stupid I am or how disappointed in me she is, or she, like, quote, I thought you were one of the smart ones, or, whatever. And it's like, and then, I because of those interactions with her, others come out of the weeds and they're like, man, I don't know how you're keeping your cool with that or what's going on. And
here's a newsflash, Tammy. I don't give a fuck if I let you down because you're crazy.
Yeah. Well, well, then, I start to talk to others that I hadn't talked to in years, and they'll say things like, you would not believe her drinking problem, or like that's from at least 10 different people. She's probably drinking. And she has a squatted 1997 Silverado and her rebel flags on the back of it. Yeah. It's such a weird situation. But then the girl that I played co-ed baseball and swam with and whatnot, her family came from Middle East Europe. Yeah. And like, she's out there, fuck these immigrants. Yes. Yeah. Which is just, I don't want to say what country her family's actually from, because that would almost be a dead giveaway, and that's not my business. But yes, like, immigration needs to stop. The United States needs to stay. It's like, you're Mediterranean, man. Like, that is a different subsect of white than European white. If we had an influx of Brits and Irish people coming in, they wouldn't say a single thing. No. They're coming over here in blimps and just parachuting down and staying. They'd be like, okay. Blimps. Oi, we're coming down, isn't it? It's funny, isn't it? With an umbrella. I automatically did the umbrella. That's their parachute. It's exactly what you did. Oi, it's funny. It's funny you said that, because I was watching an interview with Tom Hiddleston talking about Avengers Doomsday, and they asked him what his favorite movie of all time was, and it was Mary Poppins. You see that? I mean, I guess in Britain they're like, now you're going to watch Mary Poppins, how she treats his children, eh? He said that's the one movie that he can recite word for word, is Mary Poppins. And I don't disagree. I think it's a brilliant movie. It's tough. I bet he can. I think he can recite Heat word from word too. From what so? Yeah, I don't know. The only British person they'd send back is the one who's coming out going, "Oi, I'm a boy kisser." They'd be like, in the back, on the mouth. I want to take it back to the Minnesota situation, because like, this isn't just like in the city streets of like Minneapolis. This is neighborhoods. Like, Renee Good was shot in the face 3 times by Jonathan Ross in her neighborhood. And I tried to imagine what that scenario would look like here in my neighborhood. And I try to put myself in that situation, thinking, what would I do if I showed up with 30 officers in formation marching down the street? And if it happens in Minneapolis, I think it's just as likely to happen here in South Carolina, because in South Carolina, Lexington County is fully in favor of the ICE brigades. ICE brigade? Yeah. That's what I'm going to call it from now. That's tight. I'll call it Disney on Ice. Yeah. But could you imagine, like, okay, so in that scenario, what I would do, I guess, I I don't know, like, because
I'd be out
ultimately,
there being like, "Fuck y'all, all to the wall."
yeah.
If I had a neighbor here and ICE was like trying to get them, I'd be out there camera like, "What the fuck?"
But see, that's not even the worst part. That is absolutely the worst part. But part of that is the fact that they may stop at every single door and ask for your birth certificates, ask for the birth certificates of your children. They are Homeland Security does not operate with any sort of enforcement laws. There are no laws in place that allow for Homeland Security to have any law enforcement ability over American citizens. American citizens fall outside of their jurisdiction, as far as what I've read.
Knock on my door, ask for a birth certificate. You better show me a warrant or we're going to start treating this like a home invasion.
Right. But ICE doesn't even have the ability to pull a warrant. The only ones that do is your county and state law enforcement.
Then you better bring someone who's got one because, again, it's going to start getting treated like a home invasion.
Well, you live in Richland County, correct?
Yes. Yep.
So Richland County so far has not actually made any agreements with ICE. There is no ICE enforcement in Richland County in cooperation with the Richland County Sheriff's Department.
Dude, I had somebody tell me that I needed to start carrying a birth certificate with me. Like, the fuck I'm carrying papers for the Gestapo.
Yeah.
No.
Lexington County, however, has made agreements with ICE and Homeland Security because fucking Lexington County, we still have a memorial over on Highway 1 that is memorializing the Confederacy and, that when I originally moved here, when I bought this house and moved into it in 2000, and I moved into it in 2002, I bought it in 2001, they were still holding Klan rallies in front of that memorial. I don't know if they still do. I don't go out very often, but they used to. There'd be 15 or 20 guys in hoods and capes, hoods and robes, wearing, with a cross, with not the burning cross, but with torches. I don't know if they were tiki torches, but it used to happen.
Cognitive dissonance with these dudes. That's like I saw a picture from I think it was the 50s or 60s, something, and it was the Klan wearing their white hoods and stuff, with two black people trying to say that we're broadening on our horizons. And I was just like, the people who joined the Klan, whoa.
Well, the ideology of ICE is basically the same as the Klan.
Oh, they're coming to get you. They come and get you because they racially profile you. And then that's where they're like,
yeah,
where are you from?
But now it's not even just that they are so insistent about how people filming them is negatively impacting their ability to do their jobs that now they are detaining and arresting American citizens who they don't even suspect to be immigrants. They don't suspect them to be from outside of the country. They are arresting and detaining them as a threat, not a threat, as intimidation against them because ICE doesn't want to be filmed. Well, it's not illegal to film law enforcement, and anyone that tells you that it is illegal is lying to you. We have a First Amendment right to publicly portray them exactly as they are. So there's nothing against that, but it does seem to antagonize these ICE agents to the point where if you are holding a camera up in front of them, they may potentially hit you, knock you to the ground, put you in zip ties, and then throw you in the back of a truck where you'll be taken to a detention center, processed, and then released because they can't hold American citizens.
Mm-hmm.
But you're still going to get your ass beat because you were filming them. I don't know. I told Bill, I said that I think that the best way to do any of this is, one, protest, but protest peacefully. Don't antagonize the ICE agents because ultimately they already feel emboldened to beat people and shoot people and gas people. My suggestion is don't carry in your paperwork because the potential is that's likely the only paperwork you have, and the process of getting new birth certificates and things like that, just don't do it. Don't carry it with you to protest. You don't need it. Now, even a driver's license. Don't take it. Leave it in the car. Don't take anything identifiable about you to these protests because if something goes down and you get detained, I don't think that it's a good idea to have that stuff on you in the event that it gets lost or destroyed by Homeland Security. I think
you have
it's a bad idea.
I think you have to have identification, period, though.
Do you?
If
As
you're
an
over the
American
age
citizen?
of 18, I believe you have to.
I think that's part of our freedom, though. I don't think you do. We live in a country where you're not supposed to, law enforcement isn't allowed to profile you based on anything. That if you're driving a vehicle, you have to have a driver's license.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have, if you live in a state where insurance is required, you have to have insurance. If you live in a state where your car registration is required, then you have to have your registration on you. Absolutely. But to just be walking in a crowd, I don't think requires identification.
Yeah,
I'd have to look that. He's going to Google it. But I don't know. I also wanted to bring up the, have you heard about this gamer tax?
No.
So, Zach, say you build your own PC and you're about to get, PCs are about to get a lot more expensive. Chinese New Year's coming up. Prices always go up.
AI is jacks the price of RAM through the roof.
Right? Well, there's also a new 25% tariff on NVIDIA and AMD chips that just kicked in. They're calling it a national security move. But basically a 25% tax on being a gamer. We are actually going to start making these things in the US. That's the next step, is in order to get around these tariffs, which aren't tariffs. They're basically sanctions, right? Because to call it a tariff,
you don't need the ID, by the way. Sorry,
you do not. Okay, but to call them tariffs is starting to become ridiculous, because we're using them as a form of retribution against countries and companies outside of the United States. A tariff is designed to protect industry in the United States, because manufacturing of something outside of the United States could potentially be less expensive and they could sell their products for less here in the United States, pushing out local manufacturing. But what we have now isn't necessarily protecting the United States industry, and it may bring some of that industry to the United States, but it's not going to cost less. Like, to manufacture it here, an NVIDIA video board is going to cost more, because we don't already have the infrastructure to build video cards like that here in the United States.
Are we mining the silicon and things that we need here?
No. I mean, maybe we would have the opportunity to do that in Alaska, or there may be places in the United States that are untapped as far as silicon, but it isn't what they have in China. I mean, it's immense, and it's because of, the geography of China. Those natural resources are there where we don't have them here. Same as like Venezuelan crude oil, and the likelihood that Greenland does have natural resources to it underneath it that are potentially beneficial, but we don't own Greenland. And this idea that just because Donald Trump says he wants it, he thinks that we can just go take it. Another thing about the Venezuelan situation with the crude oil, Exxon made the decision that they weren't going to be a part of this administrative act that the other oil companies are getting in on, because the crude oil that comes out of Venezuela is a very low quality oil.
They're kind of been there, done that too, right?
Yeah. Like anyone with any sort of knowledge about the economics of Venezuela knows that, one, yes, they are sitting on the largest oil reserve on the planet. It just happens that because of it being there, and a lot of the countries that are on the equator have this sort of situation, because it was a very vegetative, high population of forests and jungles and things like that along the equator. Still is. And because of that, because crude oil is made from vegetation and things like plants. Yeah.
Not dinosaurs.
No. Yeah. It's not a fossil fuel because it's literally fossils.
People think
I can't tell you the number of people that I've had to explain that to. Was that where the dinosaurs were? No. Lots of jungles. It was very humid, jungly. Well, anyway, but so but the oil that comes out of Venezuela doesn't turn into gasoline. It in a lot of the scenarios, it is used for lubricants, but not like engine lubricants. I mean, they can process it down to it, but it costs more to turn Venezuelan crude oil into products that are used internationally. And
the way things are going, Barrett, I'm going to need you to start pronouncing it gasoline. Mad Max reference.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah. But so Exxon decided they didn't want a part of it because it would cost them more to process this oil into something useful than they would get out of it. And that just makes sense, because why would you want to go into something? And then Trump turns on them as though they're the Judas or whatever. It's like we're not going to get Exxon involved. Exxon's out, so we can more money. And so
what was it? That reminds me. What's the note that
go back to Chevron?
Yeah. Get back with. Dipshit reads it out loud. Get back with Chevron. They want to make a deal.
What was your question, Mr. President? I don't know, Marco. What's our question for Chevron?
I gotta stand up and go look out the window real quick.
Okay.
Not me. That's what he did.
Yeah. That was epic. Like we all either know or have an elderly person in our lives at some point that we have questioned their mental stability. And Donald Trump, in front of cameras, the press, corporate leadership of these oil companies, says, "Wait, I'm going to go look for a second." And then he comes back. He goes, "I know that was weird to look."
In my room in the White House, I have a huge window, tremendous window. Besides, I'm the best window. That's what he just does, is fucking stares out the window.
Well, it's like when he used to do those. He would go outside and speak in front of the press with the helicopter, whirling. So he's constantly having to yell because the helicopter's going. Turn the helicopter off. There's no reason. He's not going anywhere, obviously, because the next scene is him just kind of meandering around in a circle on the White House lawn.
Yeah.
Also,
he's like a Roomba that doesn't know where to go.
Yeah, I don't know if this is true, but just from the perspective of watching the news, where they have had a shot of the White House and you see the 3 American flags. You see the one flag that's on top of the White House, and then you see those 2 new flagpoles. The flag on the White House, I think, stands at a higher elevation at full staff than the 2 on the ground. And I thought that these were supposed to be flags that you would be able to see from almost any point in Washington, D.C. or in Virginia or Maryland, if you were looking in the direction that you would be able to see these flagpoles as high as they are. They're not taller than anything else.
No.
The White House is...
I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, you don't remember him putting up these 2 giant flagpoles in the?
I thought that you're saying that one of them's been there. I've never. When I was in DC, there was no
No, there's always ever been just one flag flying above the White House. That's all you need. Two more is overdoing it, right? I mean,
yeah, absolutely. How many more do you need? That's where he's gonna bring up his Nazi flag.
Yeah. Did you hear Bill and I talking about that? The kill switch, the internet kill switch in Iran.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't think we have a kill switch, but if we do, fucking flip it.
I think we do. I think the Verizon outage this week was absolutely, because we will never fully know.
No,
we'll never fully know. But Verizon has a pretty substantial infrastructure. It has for almost 30 years.
Well, where's the main point of the internet? That's what I don't get. How would there be a switch?
Well, that's what I'm saying is that, Iran clearly has an internet kill switch. If they have one,
how could we give them internet, right? Don't we give everybody internet?
Well, for Iran, it comes in
transatlantic cable.
Yeah, but like, and like, how does Verizon go down nationally and not just like regionally? That to me is
That's their network. So I could see Verizon having a internet switch, right?
Okay. So what's to say that this wasn't Donald Trump testing out that kill switch? And Verizon's very much a Donald Trump supporter. I mean, they donated to the Trump campaign. I think that may not be correct. Maybe it's because they didn't. I don't know. You know what? Scratch that. I don't know how Verizon donated their money to which campaigns and whatnot. But what if Verizon, being the second largest network in the United States, were to have turned off their network for 12 hours or so just to see what the impact was, just to test it out? Because they've been dark in Iran now for 17 days. As of this recording, 17 days. They are losing $1.5 million an hour by having the internet off. Like it's worth it to them to have the internet cut off so that people can't communicate outside of the country. But like, if we had that here in the United States, what would be the outcome? Would we be back to? I mean, would we go back to the dark ages of information distribution, which is what I look at what it was in 1991? Because we didn't have email, we didn't have text messaging, we didn't have.
I think us millennials and back would be fine, right?
Potentially. My job's gone. I
was just thinking that my job it would still function there and still
Yeah.
a need. It would be all paper and like fax. Like it would work. A lot of people's cars would not do what they need to do.
Oh, right. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
So
Tesla probably ain't doing much thinking for you.
I am of the belief that your Tesla probably doesn't do much thinking as it is.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how many cars like strictly hinge on having some kind of. They get updates, live updates and stuff like Teslas and electric cars, and I mean we're not losing electricity, so maybe functionally it would still work.
Yeah.
I think the dumbing down of America would probably take a good big pause, since
I agree.
You couldn't share just horse shit. I don't know. I don't know.
I agree.
There'd be certain people who could function. I would go crazy with a 5-year-old who can't watch her show on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I mean, but other than that, man, I have a VCR right now, so we'd be all right. We'd make it work.
Well, ultimately I think, and if we're just talking about cutting off the internet communication that is available now, I'd probably be okay as far as like home life. But I would I'd have to go into an office to work.
Yeah.
So, and I could potentially still do that, but part of what our software is reliant on is that internet connection to be able to have agents and brokers and things like that create internet or insurance policies and such. That's part of what we do specifically.
Someone would either circumvent the shutoff or create a new internet, right?
It would be temporary. I absolutely believe it would be temporary. But like even that Verizon outage, it affects Starlink, because Starlink's ground communication. Starlink, just because it's up in the satellites in the sky in the space, it is communicating with ground internet. It's just you're using that as your hardwire. So
go ahead. Sorry,
I was just gonna say, because Starlink going down as well was a huge knock to Starlink.
Yeah,
you know that, and that's the thing about Elon Musk is, yes, I think that there are things that he has been a part of that have benefited humankind. I think having the availability of remote internet in places where it's not available because of Starlink, fantastic. But he is only ever built on the ideas of someone else. He didn't come up with these things. The engineers that work for him came up with it, and he invested in it and made it happen. But like, He's never had an original idea. Neuralink is not his idea. He bought into it. Tesla, not his idea. He bought into it.
Well, and Elon Musk is a nut, but there are things I do appreciate about him.
Sure.
Tesla, love him or hate Elon Musk, that pushed the electric car industry forward, period.
Yeah.
When Teslas took off, all the other manufacturers had to look and go, fuck, we have to do something about this.
Yeah.
The privatization of space, pushing that forward, I think that's a good thing, because NASA doesn't get any part of the budget. It's like 3% or something less than that.
Yeah.
They get privatization of space is going to push space travel forward. You need that. Those are two ways. I think he's turned Twitter into X, and that's made a platform for just fucking hate, bigotry, and debauchery. It's a wild west of ignorance on there.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I used to use Twitter for legitimately news updates. Like
when Twitter would kick the president off for hate speech, it was awesome. It was fine.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. Well, to wrap it up this week, I want to go back to Minnesota. The situation in Minnesota is hitting a boiling point. Trump is now threatening to invoke the Insurrection Act and in order to restore order because of the protests. So if this happens, we're looking at actual military on the streets of St. Paul. It feels like it's one bad night away from total federal takeover of the U.S. city. How does this end without things getting much worse? Can you imagine a scenario where it doesn't get worse in Minneapolis?
No, it'll get worse. And I think worse, you're going to have the people in Minneapolis hit a boiling point and fighting back. Life-taking fighting back. Because you're disrupting a way of life. You're destroying communities. You're destroying lives. You are arresting Americans without probable causes. You don't have the right to do that. When do you... And the part that bothers me is this was all far-right conspiracy theory shit 5 years ago, and it's happening, and they're letting it.
Yeah.
So all their fears and their rumblings of conspiracy are coming true from their side, and now they won't do anything. That's what just blows my mind.
If we reach a point where martial law is declared and the Insurrection Act is invoked in all 50 states and territories and whatnot, I think and I fear that we will have a situation where we are fighting our own military. And at that point, I've got to hope that our military recognizes that they don't have to take orders for things that are illegal. Any act against citizens in the United States, I absolutely believe has to be recognized as an illegal order. You can't, I don't know where the Constitution allows for a president just to order the martial law just because he doesn't like the fact that people are out there screaming about him. And again, I still fully believe that Donald Trump will be dead in the next 2 to 4 months. I think his body is giving up on him. So I keep hearing things about J.D. Vance. Like, I was of the opinion that J.D. Vance is just a numbskull that doesn't. I always was of the belief that he is more concerned about poll numbers and what people think about him than he was about the actual power. I'm starting to get the impression that he is more about the power than I thought, and that we could see a J.D. Vance who is worse than Donald Trump. I still don't see it, but I'm hearing enough people talk about it that does concern me, because J.D. Vance is obviously not going to die of his brain shutting down, not anytime soon. He's not going to catch anything from a couch, maybe, rug rash or whatever. But should we be concerned about a potential J.D. Vance who's just as power hungry and financially hungry as Donald Trump? Because everything Donald Trump is based on money. I mean, the United States is now going to be controlling the financial interests of the oil coming out of Venezuela.
I don't know, man. JD Vance is weird because he completely turned 180 just to be the vice president, right?
Exactly.
That's not who he was, and I guess I hold out hope that who he's portrayed as now isn't who he is really.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, you would think that his background of being, an Appalachian hick, I guess, would be that the foundation of his belief system is that the government should stay out of people's lives. That the government takes taxes in order to make the lives of the people that it encompasses, makes their lives better. And because that's the whole role of government to me. Government takes taxes in order to make people's lives better. It doesn't prevent them from making them better. It just makes it allows them to make their lives better.
The people who are scary are the people who are behind the scenes, like Stephen Miller.
Yeah.
That's an openly racist and misogynistic fuck with no apologies.
Who apparently is a wild matador in the bed. Have you heard these things? Like
Justin Diamond looking motherfucker, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, Katie Miller comes out and talks about just how insanely voracious he is in bed, and it's like ugh.
Gross.
Like
Screech?
He is, yeah, right. He is Voldemort with a nose, as far as I'm concerned. Like,
yeah, he looks like a runaway testicle.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that Minnesota is the testing ground to see how much they can get away with. We're a few months away from finding out if we're even going to have 2026 elections, because there is talk now that Donald Trump is going to try to, in some way, prevent the elections. Again, I think he's going to be dead, but they're trying to come up with a way to prevent the elections in 2026 because the Republicans see the writing on the wall. They know they're going to lose the House. They think they might lose the Senate. And there might be enough votes that there's people on TikTok and Instagram that I get that they're not really in a place to have the knowledge, but they talk about how there are the votes in the cabinet to potentially invoke the 25th Amendment now. But that if we go into Greenland, that the House has enough Republican support to impeach Trump for a third time, and that if we go into Greenland without Congress's intervention, that there are enough votes in the Senate to actually remove him from office. And I would love for that to be the case, because there's no benefit for us to going into Greenland. We're already in Greenland. We have military bases in Greenland to protect our interests in Greenland. If it's just that we want the mineral rights, work out a deal. I mean,
well, yeah, and I don't think we're going to go, because then you're going to have to fight France and other NATO countries.
Oh yeah,
now showing up there as they should.
It's exactly what. Just the craziness of the idea that we would potentially go and fight against other NATO members is insane to me. Like, just insane.
That's why I don't think it'll happen. So.
I hope not. I hope you're right. I hope not. I think that is for internationally, that is going to be the red line that Biden allowed to be crossed. That's going to be the red line that Obama allowed to be crossed. And I suspect that our international allies will no longer be our allies. I think we're making them not our allies anyway. So, yeah.
I think they understand that I don't know, man. I was about to say, I think they understand that there's most of us out there don't agree with this, but they voted for him. So, yeah.
Well, let's wrap it up on one last thing. Anything new in television you're watching, or anything people should be watching on television?
Oh, Fallout, the new series is out, so that's been pretty good.
Yeah, we're 5 episodes in.
I like it. The story is not being advanced in any which way, as did the finding the dad. You just see him doing stuff. It's been good. It's been good. I just hope it picks up a little. Other than that, I haven't been watching TV.
I will say we are the new series Best Medicine on CBS, which I am gonna find a hard time promoting CBS a lot. But the new series is called Best Medicine. It is completely based off of the British television show called Doc Martin, and so far I'm enjoying it. So it's got Annie Potts in it from Ghostbusters, which is, I love her. Anything she's in, anything she does, I want her to do more. So Best Medicine on CBS, it's fantastic, and Survivor's coming back. So
you and your smut television with the Survivor.
I love it. All right. That is going to do it. You can find links to all of our past episodes, podcast platforms, merchandise, and social media, all available at our webpage, theallaboutnothing.com. And if you think our financial model of giving away free content and entertainment is silly and you're in the giving mood, become an official Nothinger. Support the show. Members get early access to this episode as well as other exclusive content. Visit members.theallaboutnothing.com, or you can find a link on our webpage. You can also give us a one-time donation through the same link. If you'd like to be a part of the show, of course, you can call and leave us a message, 803-672-0533, or email the show at theallaboutnothing.com. You can also join our Discord server, links found on our webpage. Thank you very much for everyone for listening. Thank you, Zach, for being here on a snowy Sunday morning somewhere.
Yeah, maybe in Russia or something. I don't know here.
Everybody, you stay safe, be kind, and
looking at you, Eyes, keep your hands to yourself.
The All About Nothing podcast is a product of Big Media and produced and engineered by me, Barrett Gruber. Thanks to Cake for our intro music, Sick of You. You can follow Everything Cake the band at cakemusic.com. Thanks to Muff the producer for our outro music. You can follow Muff on Instagram at Muff the producer. You can follow me across social media by visiting Linktree/Barrett Gruber. And you can follow Zach King on Linktree/AAN Zach. Want to support the show? Visit our webpage, theallaboutnothing.com, and become a member. There are several tiers available that give you early access to episodes as well as exclusive content. To find links to our social media, podcast platforms, and merchandise to support the show, as well as past episodes, visit theallaboutnothing.com. If you'd like to be a part of the show, you can email the show at theallaboutnothing.com, or you can call our number and leave a message. Dial 803-672-0533. If the time between these episodes is more than you can handle, check out our sister shows. What the Pod Was That with Carrie, Zach, and myself. Welcome to Wonderland with Ami. Politically Speaking with Erica, Kirsten, and Emily, and Black, White, and Blue in the South with Dr. Jameel Brooks and Bill Kimbler. Please subscribe and share this show. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe and punch that notification bell. Thank you for listening, and hear us next week. The preceding podcast is solely owned by the host or hosts and is distributed by Big Media, LLC. Copyright 2026.